Topic of this video is, do you know your true value? And what is it really worth to you, and why is it so important to you to understand and to protect your true value? In this video, I'm going to give you several things that you can use to protect and understand why your value is critical to you. Do you remember as a kid, when you were a little kid and you would go to school and you would come home and the teacher would put a star on your paper and you would feel so good about it? Or when you were little and you did something home as a toddler and your parents would clap their hand and say it was great? That was probably one of the first times you ever experienced dopamine. Dopamine is something that gives you this rush of a fantastic feeling of joy, of glee. And this feeling of dopamine needs to be released throughout your system, not only as a kid, but also into adulthood. So when we get a little bit older, we live in a world that no one gives you stars out anymore. When you get a little older, you start getting trophies, you start getting certificates, you start to get acknowledged when you do a good report. Sometimes your peers will have you stand up and say, hey, great deal on certain projects. Sometimes they'll give you bonuses, or sometimes they'll just give you recognition. That's the key thing. Everybody wants to give you recognition so you can feel better about what you do. Again, in business, that's that dopamine being released so you feel good, because you know you feel good, your peers feel good, your boss feel good. That's one of the things that keep you active and keep you pushing hard every day, is to get that little boost of dopamine in your life. When we were a kid, only one person or one team got the trophy, but as times have changed now, and everybody gets a trophy because everybody wants their kids to feel good. So nobody feels that, look, I'm in second place or third place. Everybody needs to be at number one. It's a very, very critical thing in our lives, because there's always one winner. There can't be two winners. And sometimes you need to set yourself up to be second place. Well, we always set ourselves up to be number one, but oftentimes, as life has it, can't always be number one. So you have to build up some resiliencies within yourself to make sure when you don't fall off or someone pushes you down, you still maintain your values. So in this video, I'm going to give you some key things you should look at to make sure you maintain your value. Well, in business, we look at our jobs a little bit differently, but we still demand this dopamine. So as I talked about earlier, about getting up in front of your peers and being recognized with a certificate, a plaque, a bonus, or some roses, some flowers every time you go to a play or something at the end. They bring out the key people and they give them flowers. Does it mean a lot? Does it put money in your pocket? No, but it's just recognition. And we live on that recognition. We aren't computers. We don't live on electricity, or we aren't machinery that you can just plug in and we run forever. We need that positive feedback to each other telling us that's good. When we get that positive feedback, we know somehow that we're doing the right thing, or what we're doing is valuable to others. This is why people get Grammys and Oscars and all those things. They don't necessarily equate to money initially, but in the future they could be. So oftentimes we spend thousands and thousands of dollars making sure that we're perceived as someone being valuable. We spend thousands of dollars on our hair, on makeup, clothes, suits, shoes. We go to the best universities, we go to the best trade schools. We do everything because we want to be perceived as very, very valuable. Whatever goes on the inside, and a lot of people look great on the outside, and inside they struggle with anxieties all the time. But externally, they look great. But in this video, it's all about how do you maintain your value. Whether you feel bad or good, you need to maintain that posture inside yourself, and not to allow other people to take it away. So here's some key points to look at. Number one, the way you manage yourself. Make sure you always manage yourself in the best posture. You need to understand that people around you are looking at you, and they're constantly calculating who you are and what you do, what you bring to the table. So I'm not saying you have to be fake or dishonest, but people will use whatever they see, whatever they get against you or to promote you. So make sure you put forth your best leg at all times. Number two, your speech, your vocabulary. Make sure you speak properly, use good English, use good sentences. Make sure you're aware of the latest buzzwords that are going around the workplace. Make sure you leave some of the slang and some of the other things that we use outside of work. Because people judge you for little things like that, and you don't want to be judged. It's very, very important. Your vocabulary, make sure your vocabulary is strong. Make sure you are well read. Make sure you know when to use certain words, when not to use certain words. It's key thing is make sure your vocabulary is very, very strong. Your mannerisms, right? Make sure you're up to speed in your mannerisms. I'm not saying this for the executives, I'm not saying this for the managers, because they should already know these things. But some of the younger people coming up through university or their first job, these are some of the things you need to look at, because when you walk into the workplace, you're constantly being judged. So take a look at some of these things, okay? It's very, very important. And the last one, your dress. Just make sure when you go into the workplace that you're dressed appropriately, because people, again, they're judging. And I'm not saying you should dress a certain way. I'm not trying to go down that lane, but all I'm saying is keep it positive and keep it professional. Other things that you need to focus on that people look at all the time, and they might not say it, but they're looking at it. So maintain your integrity. Always maintain your integrity. When something's not right, call it out. When something's wrong, call it out. When someone uses bad jokes or something, and you know it's not right, you don't have to get engaged. You don't have to laugh. You don't have to do all those things. Maybe there are 10 people in a group. One person makes a bad joke, 3 or 4 of them laugh. But look, just stand aside and say that's not appropriate, or don't laugh and go, wow. But no, you might need to disassociate yourself with those people and those type of jokes, even though you don't call them out, because maybe you feel like you're not empowered to call them out. But you don't have to get engaged with it. Just stay back from it. Understand what your conscience is telling you, right? Your inner spirit is so important to you. So if you feel that something's wrong, you feel that's not right, like you just kind of know. So if you go into a situation where for whatever reason it just feels wrong, you're doing the wrong thing, maybe you're at a sales meeting and you feel like, that someone's doing something that's underhanded, call that out, be true to yourself first, right? Because if you're not true to yourself, you're gonna feel it in the long term. You gotta be honest with yourself. You're gonna wake up in the morning every day with yourself. You're gonna go to bed every day with yourself. So make sure what you do on a daily basis is respective of your values. And last but not least, your spirituality. Some of us go to church, some of us don't. Some of us have a higher being, a different process that we go through. But be true to that also. So if you're involved in a function, let's say it's heavy drinking, you don't drink, don't feel pressured into drinking. If someone is going to some event that is against your belief, stand up for that belief. Just don't go. Be respectful and give the reason why you don't go. But you always need to be respectful for who you are, your culture, your background, your history. And it's not easy sometimes, because we all want to fit in, we all want to look alike. You go to some places, everybody's got the black suit on, everybody's got the white shirt on. You come in with a brown suit, everybody's like, oh my God, what's that person doing? Be true to yourself. Fit in, but don't be the robot. Let me give you a little example about a pencil. Everybody knows what a pencil is. So sometimes a pencil needs to be sharpened, right? And when you put that pencil into a pencil sharpener, it hurts, right? It's painful sometimes. But sometimes in life, you have to be in a situation to get better, you have to be sharpened. And sometimes life is painful. But at the end of that sharpening, you come out much more pointed, much more focused, and you're ready to go. So don't be concerned sometimes when you go through some pain, but that's part of life. And that's going to lift up your value in the long term. So just don't worry about it. The second thing about a pencil is have an eraser. Because as you go through life, you will go through some things, and you don't get to do them over, but you get to erase it. You get to build on that point and say, okay, I'm going to erase that bit right there, and I'm going to go forward. So everything you do in life, don't think you have to be perfect at all times. That's why they have an eraser and a pencil, so you can do some things over. You can't change everything in your life, but some things you can say, I need to stop. I'm going to do that better. I'm going to do that again. This is why there's an eraser and a pencil. The third thing. A pencil, let's assume that pencil is you. You're making a mark on this world. You're making a mark on your family. You're making a mark in the office place. You're making a mark with your friends and colleagues. Every time you step out, you're doing something. You're leaving your mark. You're leaving your reputation. You're leaving something behind, So that pencil is a way of you writing down, maybe not physically writing down, but you're leaving a trail behind you. So make sure it's proper and respectable. Number 4 is the lead in the pencil. The lead is your let's say it's your core. It's your inside. You have a wood coating on the outside and some paint and everything. that protects your core. You don't want everybody to know exactly what's happening on the inside. Don't tell everybody what's happening on the inside. Release that pencil lead is protected, and it's designed for you to release a little bit as you go. As you need to write some more, as you need to put out some more, you write more. And when you get to a point, then you shave it back a little bit more and you release some more of that lead. Protect your insides, because some people will use that as a weakness. There are people out there that will help you promote it and will help you get better. But I'm a firm believer is that you keep yourself intact by protecting yourself. Everybody on the job is not your friend. Every neighbor you have is not a good neighbor. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button also. Go over to my website. I'm giving out a free questionnaire, and the questionnaire is a bit of fun, but it tells you if you're in the right job or not. Put your comments down below. Would love to hear if you think you're in the right job or in the wrong job. If you like what I'm saying, like to spend a free session with me, see if we have the right chemistry to work together in the future, please let me know. We'd love hearing from you. Thanks a lot. Again, protect your value. Thanks. Bye-bye.